reasonable. Team like TSM, I think they have to hit 7, so they need the pistol's going to be more important than that on Dust 2 where they went down 5-0 early.
Well, let's get ourselves underway as round number 1 begins. Fnatic vs TSM. One game currently, the one map, the advantage going the way of TSM. Will be forced to a third. Will we be heading over to Mirage?
Well, that's definitely not what TSM has plans for. That goes without saying.
They want an easy path into the winner's bracket final if possible.
So already one decoy up at the top of middle, and they're going to go ahead and fire up everyone.
It's
4
that second
players
mid.
up to second middle. Yeah, the only one not doing so, in fact, is Kerrigan, who's just been peeking up past the bench to make sure no one's aggressive. But JW is going to catch them off. They walk directly through his crosshair. Xyp9x does at least get one in return, and Dupree comes around from the back, so he actually jumped up to Boiler, and now they're just absolutely mopping the floor with Fnatic's blood right now. All of them down, and Flusha on 6. Olaf goes away as well. So 6 HP, not looking likely, and TSM are probably going to get this pistol.
Yep, they should be able to, and there it is. First round goes to TSM.
I always say probably, but just because, you know, stranger things have happened. I think that one was pretty safe.
Anything is possible in CSGO.
That's right. So that's the pistol they need. Now they can potentially get up to this 3-round lead.
That was a perfect move in from TSM. Fnatic actually committed a lot of people outside of the apartment, so it was only JW in there. So the second you realize they're coming up through mid, well, you want to keep your eyes peeled there. That's where you're looking for those headshots when you don't check the corner. Same way Olaf ended up dying, but because TSM also committed an extra player to come up through apartments, which is normal anyway, they're able to just get the side shot. And that opens up. Yeah, Cage and B walking around with it with the Nova.
Oh, interesting that they've got a shotgun out on the CT side as well. It's the Mag 7 for JW and forcing up onto the rest of the pistols. 2 5.7s, head armor and chest. Crims with the head, and then 2 CZs, both with chest armor. So that's a heavy investment. And again, it was heavy investments that gave TSM in the qualifier a 7-0 lead on this map that was basically unrecoverable from Fnatic. Despite some good T-sides, it was still unrecoverable. So this could be a similar storyline if they get careless early. It's Pronax's job. He has to keep them intact.
Well, let's see how successful they'll be as now the smoke again just covering that cross from the CT spawn. Crims diving deeper inside the bomb. They're still looking for one, able to find one. Dupree's going to drop as well, but TSM, of course, they got the gun advantage. They are able to take over the site. There's still a floating player as Flusha over in construction. And his teammates are coming over too, but looks like they're going to end up saving the CZs, the 5.7s, and the armor. They don't want to try and retake this up against TSM. It's just not possible.
Well, 2 things as well. With the SMGs being prominent now, you're giving away a lot of frag money at this point, where they do have 2 of them out. And they did invest quite a bit into this. At least saving the armor, let alone the pistols, would be valuable heading into the next round.
Yeah,
at least lets them secure a bit. Exactly. And I mean, we talked about careless buying. If they all go down right now, it's for what? I mean, then you're extremely broke in the next round. You're better to at least hold on to what you've got.
It was that type of buying which got them knocked out during the first group stages. Because every second round, they're like, you know what, guys? We just buy up CZs, Tech-9s, whatever we've got. We get some flashes, we get some smokes, and then they lose the round, and then forced into a full eco the next round, and then you try and build back up again, and then the same thing would happen again.
And again, sure, we can read into that. We're very early on, but this is more calculated. At least there they save those 3 players. So at least they save a bit of that investment.
Yep. So minimal investment for this next round. Obviously, that money bonus is going to start to really start to rack up for Fnatic. So all they want to do is try and get a couple of these weapons out of the hands of TSM, potentially try and hold on to them themselves. And they just commit heavily. If TSM, they're playing the gamble. If TSM come towards the A site, fantastic. If they go to B, then it's a quick rotation or potentially to save you weapons you've already got.
And the crossfire set up from TSM. Molotov off underneath the atrium.
And they're checking all the corners.
Molotov on Cubby as well, so anything up close that would allow close proximity for the headshots of the pistols has already been checked. This will allow them to run around with speed, but
they're already on B. Like, Cation B has already arrived at the top of Banana while the rest of TSM are cleaning up A. Yeah, they're going to back up now, move over to B.
Well, this is interesting because they might actually be rotating over thinking that they're just going to save these guns again because there's no information that they're at B, and in fact, no information that they weren't on truck side.
Now they've got information. Cajun B's giving him a whole bunch of information led into the body of Fnatic.
I think Fnatic was just running away to retreat at that point. I don't think they were going over to play at B. That wasn't a read. They actually expected the bomb to already be on truck side because they were all at Arch. So they expected A was given up, but the late lurk pays off. It might have actually caught out a few of the players on TSM, but nonetheless 3-0, and we will get guns out this time. Kerrigan going to hold on to his SMG a little bit longer.
Save the monies, man. Save the monies. Something goes wrong, you at least got something in the piggyback. Obviously, he's got nothing. It would have had to be one of his teammates that would buy for him. But Fnatic with their buy around, They keep 3 players over on B, wondering where TSM is going to come up. TSM very, very sporadically placed. So just one banana, one watching lower mid, one moving up through the T apartments, and the other 2 in second mid.
Lusha fires through the smoke. Just checking off the corner toward the top of alt middle. 2 players already inside the apartments though right now. As Xyp9x and Dupree look to push forward. Pronax is your pit player, but he's actually dropped down. He's not even on the balcony at this point.
Well, you got these smokes still bubble for Fnatic. TSM can't get up through into B site.
Oh, I lie. Pronax has actually just gone back up on top of the balcony now, so he will be up close on the doorway.
JW feeling someone's coming through, so just spraying into different corners. I'll be careful with how many bullets he's got left. He's only got 36 left, but there's only well, if I wait long enough, there's only 36 seconds left in the round now. And they're going to come up banana. Orlov going to look for a big flash. Can actually catch out, well, 2 of the players who are still coming up. But Crim's in close. Use the range rifle. Here comes your first flash as Crims actually pops himself out to have a bit of a look.
Great flash, though, from the teammate. He walked out perfectly there. He may have only got 1, but he gets away completely unscathed after the kill. And look at the mob. It's just a crossfire. Fnatic get into post positions, and there was no entry at all. And that first flash allowed Crims the early damage. That was brilliant.
Yeah, and TSM, when you lose that initial player, you hold back for a moment because you're like, well, can we still push in? Do we have the numbers to do this? The go call comes, but then JW just got just enough time to rotate over. The hilarious thing is he got perfectly into the crossfire of his own teammate, so he still took some level of team damage, but it didn't matter. TSM got locked up. They couldn't even get up the stairwell into the B site, and that means the first round for Fnatic, 1 round to 3.
But again, with TSM having these early 3 rounds, that comfort cushion, now 7, it has to be their target. 6 won't be enough, in my opinion, at all against Fnatic on this map.
Well, where do they try and go next? They've already managed to take out apartments. They're very, very thin defense from Fnatic over on A. Once again, they keep pushing multiple players over the B. Flush is worried someone's going to come up through mid. And he's right to worry. So many of these players are still hovering back over on B. This rotation is very late from Fnatic. Now they're coming down through Highway. They just leave Crims behind. And TSM have waited so long that Fnatic have managed to bring all of their players back over, so they're ready to defend this.
And that's important, because now Pronax doesn't have to worry about the front
Here they come.
Boiler. He just has to worry about the doorway from the apartment, but good flashes onto him. He's actually going to get forced off. It smokes out on the backside of Library as well, so Fnatic doesn't have good line of sight, and that means they will get the initial trade. It's Xyp9x into JW, and Dupree's actually found Flusha, so Pronax unable to find anyone. Finally does. He's been overlooked. He's in the backside, and they've got no answer for him. It's all left to Cajun B. He gets dropped as well, and Device is going to get caught by Crims.
And it looked like a great push. We were on board with the Bitman most of that time, so you could see the smoke coverage was just so tight. But Fnatic, even if they didn't have that numbers advantage, if TSM didn't give them the time, then maybe that push would have been very, very different. But they managed to get all the way up onto the site, looking to take out Archers. But tight defense from Fnatic. They'll end up going 2-3 now, and we'll start up our next round.
And it's going to be 2 Tech 9s to come out.
Oh, this has to be well, it kind of has to be a quick movement into the apartments. You don't want to play the Tech 9 battle from range up against all of these M4s. Olaf is still walking around with an SMG, however. And there's that first run. That is Carrigan. They open up.
Not up in carpets. That nade, though. I was about to say not a lot of damage dealt either when they secure that first gun from Pronax, but then the nade came in and took them all down very low. Oh. JW spray control brings us on to 3.
Oh, that was nice and tight. That was nice and tight. Did Pronax just... Okay, yeah, he's good. So you again, we get this choke point. TSM, okay, this is now what, their second, third time they've tried to get into the A side, and they keep coming apartment side. There's almost little to no presence coming over on Arch. Should we be looking at a switch up?
Well, now that they've got rifles back out, there's a little bit more availability to play picks, essentially. And now they're going to slow it down. Exactly. So now we're going to see Carrigan head in toward the bottom of Banana. They'll work it up slowly. In fact, Cajun's the further man up, as we can see now. But this is when they slow it down. With the pistols, I don't blame them trying to get the rush again. They got Pronax. Yeah. They almost got that gun for free, but then the nade did so much damage that they couldn't utilize it entering onto the site. And with the crossfire set up, there was really no chance. But now we'll see them slow it down, and now they're starting to get a read because this is only our second full gun round that we're going to have to see in this game. And the first one was just a really good hold at B. So now they've got to get the information. This is the first time they'll get the chance, I guess, just long story short, this is the first time they're going to have the chance to really get a read on Fnatic's play.
Yeah. And so far, Fnatic. Okay, look, there's that movement coming back now from JW. Moving back over to Arch. There is some noise being made by Cage and B on top of Banana. And Olaf and Crims are holding in very, very tight here. Another thing to also flag is the fact that so far we haven't... Okay, Cage and B, the flash to come in. He's going to find Olaf. Gets shut down instantly, but it's all distractions so that the rest of the T's can push up through mid. Over towards A. Support's rotated over very quickly. JW is already watching the outside while you've got Pronax sitting on top of the bomb side. The flash is JW giving him the crossfire, letting his teammate do some work, and they just mop him up. The angle play from Fnatic has been flawless.
Yeah, Pronax is so smart, so calculated. We saw him use Pit to full effect to pick up the hat trick. That time he falls back into the site because he knows he doesn't have direct support, so plays it a little bit closer, doesn't leave himself exposed to the front side of Boiler. And the interesting thing is as well, as the bomb went down on the left side over toward Arch, Xyp9x had to take that couple extra steps just to go get it. That allowed JW to get in position before they could fully wrap around and capitalize on Pronax's position. So things are working well for Fnatic at this point, and TSM is going to have to find an answer very quickly.
There's that nade coming down Banana, a secondary one as well. A lot of vision from Crims. He saw 3 players then. And so far, TSM have only maximum committed 2 players towards that Banana side. It is kind of funny to see the positioning as well from Fnatic. Like, they're giving a little bit more respect to TSM's T side. They're holding from up in the side. They're not like, that was the furthest we've seen them push out to have a look through car. But instead, it's always been up inside the site. Use your smokes, use your nades, just delay the push. It's not heavy smoke committal as well down to lower Banana or the heavy nade committal. It's just a little bit sporadic to make TSM not feel like they can read Fnatic's defense.
And I mean, Crims is one of the most efficient B players, if not the most efficient B player. Freiburg, okay, you can get it up there, but they play it very differently. Again, like you're saying, Crims plays very passive, and just you expect him to get at least 1 on entry, if not 2. More commonly, he gets a double kill every time they try and come in from that passive position, and that gives you so much time on your rotation.
JW's moving back over to B.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean,
Fnatic have read this wrong. But it's not going to be too long before he can come back. This work from Flusher. There's the call, but he cannot move back in time. So it's going to be Kerrigan gets the initial hit. Pronax trying to slow them down from the pit side. But with his death, that means Dupree can drop down from top up in apartments. And JW, well, he needs to wait for the rest of his players to come over from B so they can attack from multiple angles. Right now, they can't find these perfect angles they've been using so far to get the control back.
And that smoke's going to hold off the angle for Olafmeister to try and get the shot out as the bomb is planted deep inside the site. That means they have to stay close to it. Does mean exits are more of a possibility as well because they're going to have to be laid out.
Yeah, all they're looking for now is exit frags. They don't want anything else. Don't lose the weapons. I'm not quite sure exactly how far we're through in money, but they've got a lot to play with. JW, well, at least there's one small trade-off.
Olaf's in a good position now. They've got apartments, smartly so. So by having the bomb deep, they have to go to apartments just to cover off, and this means Olaf, in fact, goes down to the bomb. That's a misplay.
It was a full live, too. He ran back into the site. I think he realized he was dead anyway. But 4 rounds to 4. They keep it level. There is still a hell of a lot of money in there for Fnatic. JW sitting on 7.5k still. And there goes your AWP in full buyout. Makes himself completely broke by doing so. We'll see if JW can get this initial pick. So AWP down mid.
He's going to come out pre-scope this time, so a little bit slower. We heard Thorn talk about how he often goes for that jump scope after he lands. This time doesn't find anyone as well. And here we go again. Crims playing off to the first oranges up close.
But they just keep the smoke. There's no reason to take the risk by pushing yourself out. They're letting TSM come into their kill zone. And TSM's major advantage is, like, yeah, the B has just been completely locked. Sure, there's been some times they managed to get themselves up there, but most of the focus has just been looking into apartments. Which is kind of funny after I was talking about JW going into apartments, grabbing up that machine, that rifle, and getting yourself in with the M4, contesting the front of apartments when Fnatic have given it up almost every single time since the first pistol round.
So fall back again. And they're going to reverse the angle, so with JW on the backside and the scope to get inside the doorway, that means Pronax can play a support position on apartments initially and focus more on Boiler. In fact, he's going to rotate it off. He's back inside the site.
So many flashes, so many nades being committed. Pronax, that small little angle.
Now things get interesting, though, because JW has to catch the players in apartment, and he hasn't. Now he does, up close. Xyp9x drops down, but immediately traded out because he Had no answer for the second player. Olaf comes around. That's Cajun B to drop bombs out of the hands.
It's
and that fire coming in, is it going to do enough? No, but the bullet through the smoke will. Olaf catching Kerrigan.
He knows how low they are. Device is only on 25 HP. Sure, he's got some armor up his sleeve, but it's a 2-on-1, and Olaf, Krim, starting up the spam, allowing Olaf to go for that flank, making Krims look two different angles, and, Device looking two different angles, and there he goes down. Defuse will come in for Fnatic, and they're waiting to actually find some weapons, I think. They're looking for the AWP. Yeah, they're getting JW's AWP in hand.
So great rotation from Olaf because JW was completely caught up. Pronax pushed up out of pit where he normally plays, and I don't think they were expecting the second player to come out of apartments. JW got taken for it, but Olaf threw the smoke on the bomb planter. That was brilliant. Absolutely took him down. He had no answer for it.
Well, back into it now. So 5 rounds to 4 TSM. I got a bit of a semi with a couple of Tech 9s, the rest AKs. Again, Fnatic so heavily. They're waiting for TSM to fully contest up top. I'm surprised they have more confidence in their 2 defenders up there. It's always JW sitting very close in on the B side. And here they come. Flusher, there's your crossfire. With the nade as well, they can't push up or else they're going to take so much damage. Kerrigan still managed to come through, but Flusher on the other side of the Molotov. It's still a 3-on-2 situation. They go for the plant on top of the grill. Has to cancel. Olaf made enough sound that Kerrigan knew he was going to get shot in the back. In fact, he's just running that bomb out there. Back down Banana after Fnatic has rotated over, meaning if they can move fast enough, Zipnix can even cut them off at Archers.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, he's going to go truck side. He wants to check the site because they have no information. They don't know what we know in that everyone's left the site. But Zipnix has a great opportunity to prevent this retake. Regardless, they're going to get a bomb plant. Fnatic has to be questioning on how Kerrigan got away.
He just walked out. It wasn't really much to it apart from just strolling himself back down the Banana.
Plant was so cautious, though. It's deep again, so Kerrigan has to be in the site.
They're going to prep a smoke, so at least they can shut down the pitman.
That means it's going to be extremely awkward now. That does go a little bit deep, though, so still a gap.
It's too deep. Zipnix can see perfectly up to the side area. Now the secondary smoke has to be committed, but he's going to see the players. No, he can't. They're sitting in there. Kerrigan's going to take the first one, and Zipnix reveals his position, taking out Olaf, and then JW. That was a little bit of a while, but it still finds the head.
Second shot, so we are still knotted on 5s. Good hold. Good patience as well, knowing that smoke's got him covered off, and Kerrigan took the first kill on Pronax. That made Zipnik's job a lot easier because they were hyper-focused onto him.
Yeah, they had all 3 players looking at him. It's almost like Fnatic was like, let's take out one player, then we need to worry about where the second player is. When he reveals himself, then we can start shooting him. But their own smoke ended up covering off the angle. So they couldn't see down the pit. They didn't know he was there. It was too shallow. This is the first time we've really seen a proper commitment from TSM to come up through B.
And this is actually the right time to do it.
It's the first time Fnatic pull the players off.
Yeah. Olaf's already gone. He's back over to support at A right now because they are on the pistols. Cajun B's already found Crims, so B's open.
Yeah. This is that find exit frags and Banana, as well as potentially over near the CT spawn. But Zipnix is already waiting for him. So it should be a very simple round for TSM. Holding the site, the only thing they've got to worry about is losing these weapons as they leave. We've got a ticking time bomb of Olaf inside construction.
Look at the angle he's holding. I dare you to come through, Cajun B.
It's as tight as you can possibly make it. And wow, he actually managed to outshoot Cajun B with just the USP.
Question is, though, he's going to grab the AK.
Get out of there.
Get out with it.
He'll be able to. He's got enough time.
30 HP. I think he's just... No, he's not. Yeah, he's just not far enough. And look at the exchange that goes on at the bottom of Banana in the meantime. So
that's fine for Fnatic.
Dupree and Zipnix do both drop. Yeah, I mean, that's a small victory. No less. They do lose players in the end, but they were only invested into that with the pistols.
Yeah,
so
you burn a little bit of cash on TSM. It's not much, but it's something. And when you're rapidly approaching the end round, if you can get some level of force buyout from TSM, that's only if they can take this round, of course. Because if they don't, then TSM should have mind to sustain themselves through the last 2 rounds. Movement. Now they come aggressively. Crims, Flusher from up on top of the cart. That is the first aggro play from Fnatic going down Banana, and Flusher takes out 3. Looking for the 4th. Can't shut him down, though. It'll be Device. Support arrives from Olaf. And they reveal the bomb at the top of Banana, and that's a great round for Fnatic. And you wonder why it took until the 12th round before anyone aggressively pushed in from Fnatic down the Banana.
I mean, there is that, yes, they changed the pace, but you have to keep in mind that Device, that was only the second round he had the op on the CT side, or pardon me, on the T side, and the first of which, we see Xyp9x drop to make it back onto a tie game, the first of which was that save round we saw just prior to that. So we never really saw the aggressive op come into play, and they went right back to the same play. They said, all right, we never got to use it, we want to use it to find the pick at B. So all of them were there, and it was the exact right time for Fnatic to go aggressive, and Flusha picks up the triple. There's no answer to. I mean, you have to think they're going to go back to Tech 9s at this point. In fact, for TSM, but you have to think they're going to stay away from the op at that point because it didn't even get used. It didn't even get fired in that round.
Yeah, but they're just finding no angles for it with no battles on Banana and no one's peeking mid. Just pick up the machine guns, pick up the rifles, and just push yourself up through the middle or up through apartments. That's where their strength's been so far, TSM. And they're going to give it another shot. The Nape, nice position. Flusha holding in close, but KGB. Tech 9 point blank range. Support from JW sitting on top of the balcony. Brings down 2. And this will even up the numbers here at least. 3 players from T, all on the site.
They have to play the retake though because he's 7 HP forced out. In fact, KGB is going to address the issue. Gets up on the
He's right behind
balcony.
him. He's right behind him.
Nice nade as well. Damage onto Olaf. That pop flash on Flusha just caught him. That's what started the whole play because he thought he dodged the initial flash. He would have had that double kill on the hold. Instead, they walk onto him now, but look at the retake coming around. Xyp9x in the sight. It's Olaf drop. JW does get back into one, but KGB finds him.
Crims
and it all comes down to Crims. They know exactly where he is, but they don't want to aggressively peek because they are low themselves. Nonetheless, there's your 7th round, and TSM have already hit the objective. How many more can they go?
And probably a lot more if they can keep playing like this. The angles were perfect as well. So you're able to get yourself in on the side, and then you have that one player who's almost like a sleeper holding inside the graveyard, and all of a sudden he just comes to life and you realize, wait, I can't get back up through apartments. That movement coming up through apartments side of the mid, it's also not possible, and the one man who had space was too busy trying to look and shoot through a box to get a kill. So TSM, 7 rounds to 6, as we go into our second last round of this first half. Olaf, a little bit more aggressive here with that CZ auto. He's getting pushed back as they spam into the car.
And Crims wants to get up on top of the cart to see over the smoke as well. But there's your shotgun. Your lone shotgun on the map does catch out Xyp9x. That's up close. Over on A. So that's your scout, your reconnaissance player. They're still going to push that direction, though. And that's wisely so, or are they? No, they're falling back now. And there is 3 from Fnatic over at B, 2 up close, and a support from Flusha back towards CT spawn. He'll be able to flash out for the 2 up close. And there it is. There's your pop flash over the roof. Device does dodge it, so he's still in good position.
Yeah, but Fnatic aren't going to try and force down and get any kind of information. They actually have no idea where TSM is properly. They're just having a guess. Now they come out. Olaf gets the first kill over on Karrigan. They know now Olaf is stranded on the side. That's why Dupree running through the Molotov. Dropping down to 13 HP. He's going to keep moving in, but the nade from Flush will stop him. Device also taking a little bit of burn damage.
And they're walking in. They're so spread out. It's been an eco round from Fnatic right now, but they aren't getting trades even on the pistol kills. The shotgun wasn't answered. These 2 kills initially because the fire divides the TSM players.
They've got no choice. They have to commit into this site right now. Pronax is just sitting at the bottom of Banana. They'll move up soon. Cage and B as well as Flush. There it is from JW. The bank of Fnatic is able to get himself a nice little deposit from TSM's corpses.
And the 1 gun purchase wins the round. This breaks everything down for TSM. They'll be able, hardly be able to force out for round 15. So maybe 7 was the answer. That was all they were going to get.
And this
again,
time,
TSM just got caught out single-handedly there. The first kill went to JW, no answer. The second kill at the top of Banana, the fire divides them. They can't come in and go for the trade, and then they picked up 2 rifles. Shotgun comes around on the rotation, and there's no answer.
What a great half JW's also been having. 1 kill and he'll go up to 20. And speak of the devil, there it is. Flush with the P90, holding from on top of balcony. JW though, he's the man to come in, taking out 3. They still got the support, got taken out from the side. Is Karrigan, but a very quick round for Fnatic. As TSM just tried to commit as hard as they possibly could onto the A side. It just wasn't enough, but they do still take 7 rounds on their T side.
That's a case of what would have been though. I mean, that 8th round was theirs for the taking, statistically speaking, when you look at the firepower, but Fnatic hold well. They get the narrow victory on the half, and again, we saw a similar situation where the game became a lot more even in the qualifier. Again, 7-0 start for TSM, came back, I think it was a 9-6 half at the end of that, and it was still 16-14 to close it out. So Fnatic have a lot of potency as well on their T side, and if they can get rolling early, again, pistol for them going to be the same importance. They've got to get those early 3 rounds to hit the objective. They hit the number, of course, 16 in this case. Let's not count, it's pretty obvious, but they've got to do it early on. And TSM needs to limit JW as fast as possible because, again, they're so good at coming through this bottom, this deep banana smoke.
Fnatic had pushed up so quickly. They're already able to get rid of one player over on B. That is a bit of a glitch on the minimap, so don't think there's still 5 players up for TSM. That's the apartment movement. And JW opens it up, so up they come into the A side. Dupree looking for the first pickoffs, but okay, he's actually able to find JW. Still a 4-on-3 situation. Make that a little bit better in the numbers for Fnatic as they outnumber them 1-2.
And the bomb down as well.
Just hoping for a nice little nade. Tick down the pit player, but the nade was off target. Flush is still very much alive. Kerrigan, oh, there's his head. That's all that was needed. Same for Zipnix. 9 rounds to 7. A great breach by Fnatic. They get the early advantage here on T side.
Did you say breach?
I did, but
okay. That's the first time.
I know.
That's good. I'm impressed.
I know.
I'm surprised I haven't heard it until now.
Well, did you miss the Dota reference? I also threw
did. You
in?
said mid lane at like S2. I wasn't going to go into it. We haven't said gold yet, so we're fine. I'm going to swap you for LD at some point. He wouldn't do as good, so you're doing all right.
Thanks, boy. Thanks. No, wow. Good boy. Sit, baby. Sit.
So this time, KGB is going to get a little more aggressive toward the apartments, wants to get up close with the pistols, has support as well.
I'm loving the way Fnatic are doing this. This is what TSM really weren't doing at all. They commit with these SMGs. You try and get yourself up through Banana, make a lot of noise, and they're trying to actually bring an extra CT defender off the A side over to B. Now, Fnatic committed theirs from the very, very start, so it wouldn't have made as much difference if TSM did it. But Fnatic try and at least keep it in the minds of TSM. The B side is very much there for them to plant. And then they just bring it straight back over to A. So the smoke covers over on apartment side. That allows JW shooting into the corners. It's just a quick retreat back out again. That's Device all the way back over towards the kitchen.
Okay, he'll readjust and head into where the library and catch them on the way by. Hopefully, that's his plan. Again, it closes up the angle because he was already picked off there. Like again, JW's already coming around pre-firing. There's no way he's going to take that fight, and there you go. That's exactly why he does it.
So we'll see if the push from Fnatic is able to work. Flusher with that P90 still in hand. He's got to look left as well as right. So instead he gets himself an angle. Could see the corner there. The edge is actually me. Kerrigan gets the first one. And Kerrigan actually does take out 2. The plant will still come down from Crims. There's 2 very injured T's. Dupree shooting through the smoke. There's only 1 bullet inside the clip for Crims. At a 30 available, and he cannot get him. So retake will be there for TSM.
Great play from TSM. Excellent retake. And again, Device not taking the fight when JW was looking aggressive. Got a pick that potentially shouldn't have gone his way if he had stuck around. And strength in numbers, he's available to be around in that rotate. Gets the 3 versus 2 post plant their way. And we saw Nico go Fanatics. Now it goes back, and more importantly, goes back early. Fnatic only with the 1 round advantage and no economy to work with.
Okay, so defense time, TSM. What do you got? Remember, Fnatic is still lethal. When Olaf's managed to well, Flush has got the CZ, which he stole.
A lot of SMGs out.
Yep. Everyone's looking for the money. They want Fnatic just to run into them, and here comes Fnatic. They move in through apartments. The battle's happening a little bit higher up, but that's going to be Cage and B. He will eventually be dropped by Olaf with that Tech 9. There's still only a 1-on-1 trade-off.
Does spread your defense just a little bit, as we can see, because it's only right now Zipnix that's at B.
Fnatic try and play this mind game again. Like, it's like, do we push up through B? They backed up pretty quickly like they're going to, but they're just switching over some weapons.
Yeah, so Olaf's going to keep the Tech 9. He'll throw the SMG back over.
Yeah. That MP7. Because JW, he was doing it last time. Come in, make as much noise as possible. This time he's not doing it, and they're going to commit the entire team over to the B side.
And we can see the thinking eyes of Kerrigan, because he's the one who has to read this right. He's in your first rotation shot on Speedway. He's a little bit late. That smoke's going to hold him out. So
there's the fire
Zipnix
as well. He's burning. He's burning so hard.
I don't know why he stands in that. I don't know why he takes that fight. He has to wait just 2 seconds longer, and it's extinguished. Kerrigan's through the smoke. Instead, they both go down.
The fire was into the corner. The fire was all the way into the corner, so he was burning up in there anyway. He had no choice but to come out.
I didn't think it was that deep initially because it was late to reach him.
It really didn't look it, because it looked like it came out a long way out to the stairs, but even when he backed himself into the corner, he was still burning.
So now they have to save this M4. So we're going to see back-to-back. Again, this is a force buy more so than an eco, but back-to-back.
It's still a 10th round. It's still a 10th round of Fnatic with an economic advantage. And, well, Olaf's looking the wrong way, so they at least reveal where Dupree is.
Grab a Tech 9 if he wants it as well.
And there it is. Round goes to Fnatic. And TSM. Well, they've still got some decent money behind him, and that M4 can help him at least hold one good angle. You could throw it up to the top of Banana, make sure that you can't go through there. I don't know if you want to get over-aggressive. Is that something we should even be looking to see from TSM? Do you try and come down with your SMGs, get down at the bottom of Banana, throw those nades, throw those smokes, and get Fnatic looking behind them most of the time?
Well, we haven't had, again, orthodox rounds at this point. We've been back and forth with the economy, so we haven't had the chance to them to really establish the presence they normally do. Now they're going to. So we've got Device already deep inside Banana, and it looks like it's Zipnix who's up high, so it's not Kerrigan. They've actually switched that out, and that's based on spawn because Device was the closest one there, and he's all the way down to tree as a result. So he can actually play deep. This will allow the early rotation off of B because he's in a close enough position to call him back immediately, and they can have an extra man at A. They may not even need that extra man, though, as Dupree and Cajun B set up a crossfire. Cajun B, though, in Graveyard, nowhere to go. Pronex finds him on the way around the corner.
Wow, this is just perfect right now for Fnatic. If they can hold, they still took a lot of damage to achieve what they've done, as Flush, the man who was the highest HP of the Fnatic players, goes down. And TSM, successful retake. Looks like it's happening. JW from inside the pit. The bomb exposed on the outside. How does he even get back into this? He's got himself a Molotov available, so he's going to flame around the corner. He's worried about who's coming in. He's going to be worried from who's coming above him because Apartments is where he's going to get shot from. That's Kerrigan as we go into PIP.
Kerrigan has to be patient as well because that smoke now means that this would be a one-on-one battle if JW...
They're waiting for the plant sound. That's all they're waiting for. JW is the man that has to make this play. So he bumps up. He's got no information at all. He has no idea where these last two TSM players are, and he's running out of time. Looking for any angle, any option that he's got.
I think he's just going to get out of here with the AK at this point.
Yeah, he's got to. There's no way he can do it.
Okay.
Wait, is he? He's going to flash?
He has to die in the next 8 seconds if he's going to die. Okay, luckily he does. So Zipnix will get him down. That's going to make it 10-9, but I thought he would just try and get out of there much sooner than that.
That was such a tough position for him. Like, having no information, the bomb is a little bit too far towards the mid to walk out for it. And at the end of the day, TSM, they're keeping it close, they're keeping it tight.
And now they've finally started to rebuild their own economy because, again, we've been back and forth. Fnatic now broken themselves. JW will go for this Tech 9, but it's all they're going to pick up. No armor, no nades to work with. So stack up and rush, try and get some guns down if possible. Much more passive, though. Again,
yeah,
they know the economy's broken, but very, very passive at B right now from TSM.
It's almost like looking at Fnatic, because obviously with no smokes nades there. I don't know if they're just waiting for TSM to throw out everything they've got. So that's a little bit more even. The TSM, like, it's the right thing to do. Like, you don't want to get up into the middle of Apartments when you've got Tech 9s. You want to be close with these weapons. So instead TSM, you play from back at pit. You play from over on the long arch side. So you can just keep the range battle going your way. And here comes Fnatic. And they try and push themselves up through the arch side. Device able to fall back far enough. And now he can battle up against Olaf. Gets the upper hand there. Can he get more? The flashbang is coming in from his teammates. Realize getting flanked. Device takes two until Flush will shut him down. But Kerrigan's there to support out. And Cajun B still holding on top of the side. Kills off the last player. Pronax will drop. And it goes 10-10 on the board.
That USB shot in the library was gorgeous. Completely overwhelmed, missing out on a few M4 shots. Knew he had to be close.
That's a lot of the calls coming out from his teammates too. They realized where the players are moving from Fnatic. So they just gave him as much information as possible. The flashbang support too allowed for that not just a fall back into the other side of Arch, but for him to come back out and contest the movement of Fnatic up through that Arch side.
And again, he was playing quite passively because it was pistols. You can afford to play back. They're obviously going to rush onto you, and that allowed Kerrigan to get in position. But look at this. Now we're going to see the op come out for TSM. Finally, it goes to good effect. But Kerrigan does get caught, unable to get into a safe spot underneath the archway. Nonetheless, they have the man advantage. That's the important part. So battle one on Banana.
Yeah, what a big round to take it as well. This is when Fnatic were buying up too, so they needed to try and cripple Fnatic.
And it's actually Dupree who's on to pit, so it pulls, I believe that's Zipnix as well as Device over to B. So they are still split up.
Blue line.
That's a loss because now it's got to have to be Dupree staying extremely efficient. They're not yet in position to rotate, but he finds the first. Olaf does trade him out. They'll get this bomb plant, no less, but it will be a 2-on-2 on the retake. Or will they? What?
Device. He threw the flash for cover. Device takes a second. They're mopping it up. Who needs Zipnix?
My goodness, Device. That first shot was even more impressive than the second over top of the box because the timing of it was absolutely perfect. The bomb was in position to go back in, and as soon as he came out, So insult to injury, they don't even get a bomb plant money from that. So Fnatic now on 10 and TSM in the lead late. They're already up one map. I said if they were going to win it in 2, and that's exactly what they're looking to do right now.
Yeah, they might be able to. Fnatic with only the Rec 9s, and they're only just coming out of T-spawn. It was a very delayed. I think they just took a moment to talk about what's going on here. No need for tactical pauses. It's just a simple, all right, guys, let's get our heads back in this game. We're behind again, the same position as they are in on Dust 2. And on this T side, they really have to pull up hard flusher.
And they're changing out this banana play. Again, Kerrigan has gone low, but they didn't smoke it off this time because they're letting Device play it with the op.
Ooh, 2 HP he survives on.
If they had to chase him, though, look where Kerrigan is. I mean, that's at least 1 to his name.
If they got the kill, they would have gone up so quickly up banana.
But this is adaptive play because now we have Dupree and Zipnik's over at A. That's not normally where they are. And oh my goodness.
He's waiting for more. They have it! He's still going to take 2. Looking for the third. Takes him down as well. Kerrigan, the sleeper agent.
The awkward, oh, hey, you saw me. I might as well start shooting now. But still picks up the hat trick. Such a gorgeous and executed disciplined play from Kerrigan.
TSM still have to finish the round, though.
He's so good at getting into position. That's where Zipnik gets caught. Kerrigan never does, and now Device is going to hold off Olaf. It's all left to Pronax.
Yeah, and he's just trying to spray through. There's only 2 HP, but Device does it perfectly. Pronax was able to bring down Zipnik, but it's 12-10. And TSM, here it is again. That slow impatience from Kerrigan. Yep. Surprise. It's that moment too, where you don't know if you're meant to check the corners. Like your teammate walked before you, he didn't get shot.
And usually when it's a fast execution, it is the second man's job to check the off angles so you can at least get the trade. But that one was a bit awkward because it was slow. Yep. He'd already gone 10 steps.
So TSM, they're going to try and slow down this play as much as possible. There was a Molotov on top of Banana. They're nading, they're flashing, and smoking defensively around the A site. They want to make sure Fnatic aren't going to move through with any form of momentum. Let that AWP Device do some work. He's also had a fantastic game. Hilariously enough, KGB is not the top on the points for the kill count. Everyone from TSM here in Inferno have really been pulling their weight.
And now we're going to have the AWP in a different spot. All the way back over to A. Device, changing things up. So this will catch Fnatic off because they're going back to their traditional on banana, and there it is. Zipnik's in position, more passively, mind you, but still gets the first kill on Flusha. Yeah,
Flusha tried to move through that Molotov and catch him out when they're not expecting a Fnatic player to come through. Unfortunately for him, he took so much damage. And they just keep these smokes coming. So Fnatic, whenever they want to come in, flashes, nades, the pop flash coming out from Fnatic, they're hoping to catch him blind, and JW is exactly that behind the grill. Zipnix takes out 1, but Fnatic, they do get through and they take the site. It's the plant coming down the grill. Pronax already moving into position back behind that car, ready to defend. Dupree right in front, he's just jumping over, he was waiting for the flash to come in. That's why his head went down. But it basically just bends himself over for the execution of Dupree.
So now it's only 2 men for Fnatic left to hold this site. They do have the good crossfire in the backside, but that nade into Emo already does massive damage to Olaf. Fortunately, Crims finds one before that. And it's low HP for KGB, who walks in, but Dupree's going to hold. Baits off his teammate, and call it a bait, call it a trade. He gets the defuse no less, and they're going to be on to 13.
Either way, it's a round win. That's all you're searching for right now. And Fnatic, well, they did well to get themselves into the B side. The plant to go down, but when you've got that cross, like it was a pretty obvious position when they're going to come. Like TSM still had a lot of information. They realized that no one's going to be holding over near construction. So it's simple. You look for the 2 furthest corners inside the B.
We're going to get JW's aggressive op out now as well.
He's still a glass cannon. There's no armor behind this.
He wants this pick at Banana, I know, I'm sure. Okay, no, he's actually going to stop up for mid. He may get it as well, just missing out on Cajun B.
You could see the shoulder through the X-ray, but he was having more of a guesstimation about that shot. Olof's move also very aggressively up through top mid, throwing out the nades, throwing out the smokes and the flashbangs. Trying to bring as many eyes of TSM towards that top mid. Well, they push themselves up into apartment. Crims, the man to come up through the hay bales, and there's no one up there. So Fnatic is capable of just taking out the apartments and having a bit of a look into the A side. And he smokes and nades. Okay, Dupree definitely saw that nade fly out from the stairs and boiler.
Cajun B needs to be very careful not to get too aggressive on Chuck's side and give up Pit as a result, because they already have Dupree there. Okay, he has fallen back now. But initially, they were both focusing boiler, and they already had 3 players inside the apartments. There was a chance for Fnatic to slip out the back door.
I wonder if they're even thinking about doing that. Flush has pushed up a fair way up on Banana. I don't know if he's looking for the rotator, if he's just trying to make some noise. Well, the last time Fnatic ran 3 people up through carpets, they got completely gunned down. So I doubt they want to attempt to do the same thing again.
The fortunate aspect is that Device is already passive on Arch, so he would be able to compensate by rotating over front library, but Cajun's going to open it up. There's Crims down. That's your first. They're still wanting to get around the corner, and they haven't found the player departments. In fact, Olaf gets the entry. That's not common from that position, but Dupree's still there over the hood of the truck. And Olaf's down. Flusha drops as well, and JW.
He's got no armor. He's got an AWP and 2 seconds on the clock. He'll lock the door and just hope the TSM don't find him. And he's far enough away, he will end up saving the AWP. But TSM, they're looking absolutely wonderful now. 14 rounds to 10. One more round, and then we're staring down the barrel of 5 match points. And a 2-0 victory over Fnatic on LAN.
It's the perfect start for TSM, but again, usually their group play that's the problem. Again, we're not really in groups here, but
no,
early in tournaments, it's not their issue. So hopefully this can continue forward, but we're not done just yet. We're not out of the woods. This is still Fnatic, and it is on Inferno, and they're already inside Banana as well. Passive play again, but the flashes come out late. That slows them down just a little bit as Zipnix wants to play this quite like Crims up on first oranges. So he'll rely on his teammate Kerrigan to get the flashes out and let him get those picks.
And Fnatic, they just cannot get anyone from TSM poking or peeking anywhere. So this AWP of JW is doing practically nothing. They can't get aggressive. They can't find any kind of opening because TSM, they just, again, they move back into the site. Actually, they're a little bit closer this time around. JW, he's bouncing himself over the wagon. The flashbang will come up.
Oh, he gets out of position just at the wrong time, though. Had to go for the reload.
JW knows where he is. He's looking directly in the corner, tags him down to 10. They'll finish the job with Olaf, and now Fnatic, they're going to look to take the B. Device spraying through the smoke, copping a fair amount of spray damage himself. And in fact, JW, I didn't know if this guy's just feeling the force or not, but he's definitely feeling a bullet into Device's scalp.
I think he heard you call him out saying his op wasn't doing anything because he's definitely putting on a clinic now.
Cast his curse.
So that'll turn things around. This will bring them back into it. And again, when you play passively like this, as TSM has been doing, KGB realizes there's someone there in that hallway, and that's Flusha.
They really need to save these weapons. With 2 rifles. Okay, last time Olaf got shot here, he's not making the same mistake again. He walked past that one almost 6 rounds ago, I think it was.
By the way, I talked to Kerrigan the other day, and he said, we don't have a choke problem, we have a 14 rounds problem. To which Thorin said that's still choking, but they're on 14 now, so let's see if they can overcome that today.
The dreaded 14.
But again, by playing passively, as TSM have been doing, they're not going for that aggressive Banana. That's bad-mannered person in the front row. As they've been playing more passively, they have to play for a retake. You don't get to play for those rotations early on. So it changes the way your secondary players, your retake players have to get to the site, and it makes it a lot more pressure on them. So you have to wonder if they do go back to an aggressive round here, if they try and change it up, because again, 3 players at B all inside the site this time, and this isn't what we've seen from TSM over the last month or so. This is a far different B setup.
But this is also because it's on a pistol round. So we're waiting it out. In fact, they got a lot of early damage on the Fnatic. Olaf tried to have a bit of an early pressure up through that mid-T. And there's just spray bullets coming in from the 5-7. So Olaf's already, there's more damage being done to Fnatic at the moment than TSM. And Fnatic aren't sure about it. They know the TSM are completely strapped for cash. But they also know they're having to battle up as TSM has moved into these close quarter situations where the pistols can be more effective up against guns like AKs and especially that AWP of JW. And again, it's JW holding the AWP, so maybe not as effective. Wow, he's right behind him.
They're going to wrap.
They're right behind him. Cajun B was waiting, and Olaf was the delayed mover in for Fnatic. But Cajun B with that, he heard them all coming. So Kerrigan in that tight area. He's able to bring down 2, looking for the 3rd. He actually tries to switch his weapons out. Unable to do so, but it's still a 2-on-2 situation. Weapons can start coming in until Flusha. All right, they have the side, but Flusha's got 1 HP. And maybe, the bomb goes down. 1 HP versus 74. Dupree, he knows exactly where he is. Pistol is all he needs. 1 bullet into the head. Can he find it around the corner? He's playing the game right now, and he's played it perfectly. Flusha goes down, and TSM will take their 15th round and 4 match points.
And credit to Kerrigan where credit is due. They went for the wrap. They thought they'd get into B. Unfortunately, 3 members home, and Kerrigan with the double. That slowed everything down, and none of those rifles were grabbable, but there was so much damage done that the pistol's enough. And it's match point again, TSM. This time with one extra from what they had on Dust 2. Fnatic still able to force out, though. They'll be able to get up to the op for JW. Full armor as well. Decent amount of nades, so they've got a full execution to work with. And Device, though, look, he's going right back to the op, and he's going right back to B. So again, changing things up.
Yeah, they're trying to find the early advantage. There's your first assist. 19 HP he drops down to. In fact, Device is already down for the count. Kerrigan will make sure this push can't come quickly from Fnatic up through Banana, however.
But they have to know he's on bags.
Yep. But that's the reason why they're also throwing down the mollies and the flashbangs. They're trying to get Kerrigan out of there. Or is he? They're making every play like Kerrigan has left, but he's not leaving. He's sticking
waiting
around. He wants to kill on Pronax. Can't find the second, however.
And he just went down too soon because Xyp9x actually fell back. Again, they play that 3-player B out of spawn. Xyp9x just fell back to throw the pop flash onto the hallway at Banana. Kerrigan was out about a step too soon, and Pronax was beyond it, so got the line of sight and got the kill. Otherwise, that might have gone back to Kerrigan's way again.
He's completely open for Fnatic, but they've got the bomb over on top Banana. That's the reason why now TSM, with only 2 players, Olaf playing. The smoke is keeping him completely covered, so he doesn't have any idea what's coming from CT. The first flash, second flash, perfect turns, but JW is inching. He's inching forward.
Xyp9x, this is a tight spot. He has to hit this shot. He doesn't. JW gets him. It's a full flank right now from Cajun B, but he's already spotted. Does at least get JW down. That's your op out of the picture. But with 2 rifles, each on half HP, if they can secure the Boast plant, they'll get the round, and that's exactly, in fact, they don't even need to secure the positions. Olaf's going to find him on the entry.
It's still costly for Fnatic. Like, they weren't running around with a lot of money. They still only had 2 AKs left at the end of that round. So they're not looking in a very comfortable position at all. Obviously, you're facing up against 4 match points. I don't think you're feeling too comfy as it is. But Kerrigan, man, he's done so much work. 24-4-19. His KDA. Or KAD, I should say. It's the other way around.
The pressure's off for TSM. They're beyond 14. They've already secured at least overtime. It's just 1 round. They can take this slow. Now stick to the pistols this time.
Oh, look at Flusher. How do you clean out all corners? Well, just go with the spray and pray.
Use the troll teeth.
Fnatic. They're not finding any openings this time around. It's still TSM on pistols. That's why they want to still, again, play this range game, but TSM, they've abandoned apartments. So Fnatic can move quite freely through here. Now Crims needs some angles to work with. Some flashes, has a bit of a lookout. Already pre-firing a lot of these corners. Flusher finds the first opening over on B. That's going to be Kerrigan to drop, so the top fragger for TSM down for the count. They Molotov out from the corner, so no one's going to be waiting there. They can check the other corners to Pre. A lot of patience on the other side of the smoke. He's hearing them all running over to the yard side. And where's the movement? He actually kills off the bomb carrier. So Flusher goes down. Reveals a lot of the positioning. At the same time, Fnatic seems to just be very happy to go into the A side. They got the bomb back onto them again. And the plant's going down now. TSM, successful retake. Unable to do so through the top of apartments. Dupree will drop. And it's a 2-on-1 situation. That P90's in the hands of Device. He's the last man left standing for TSM. It looks like Fnatic will avoid the GG call out for another round. Device will just look for the exit frags.
I'm sure he would love to find that AK that's down at the top of middle as well, but
he's going to get shot in the back if he's not careful.
Undoubtedly, Fnatic's not going to allow that to happen.
He's worried about it too.
Well, he may still get one here on Pronax. In fact, he'll get more than that, or will he? No, he gets him back.
Can't save the weapon, but TSM should have enough money to go for a proper buy this time around.
Shot on
Fnatic. So close. It's still so close. If they can force an overtime here.
Oh, and Kerrigan's going to go to our lovely little MP9 as well. So he's going to the SMG.
Well, if he can get 1 or 2 kills, they'll have some nice cash coming into the next round. Remember that money bonus is still kicking out quite nicely for him. That'll be the last round.
Yeah, cash doesn't matter. They just want the round.
Yep.
Kills are more than anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what
Look at him run.
Economy is.
TSM, they're going straight down Banana into that aggressive smoke. With the flashbangs now coming up from Fnatic. They're going to run up. Flusher, he takes out 1, but there's the first one.
That is exactly the problem that Xyp9x has had the last month playing that position. Kerrigan gets to tree, and Xyp9x always gets caught on that flash.
Dupree so quickly.
That was back to the standard play. That's exactly how TSM play it, and that is exactly the spot almost within a foot to where Xyp9x died probably 6 times the last time they played this map together.
This movement from Fnatic. They've taken out Arch side right now. Where do they want to go? Cajun B, he's going to drop. He was the only defender on top of the A site. because TSM brought their players over to that B side so quickly. So the rotation up through mid. Olof's waiting for it. He's right at point blank range to Dupree. Dupree takes the kill. It's up to JW. The plant, the bomb is ticking. But can JW hold on to this with Fnatic? He looks down one, can't get the proper hit. The grenade to stop that player coming in from our side, but can't get the kill. It's going to be the round for TSM. They will take it out 2-0. Match point. Defuse will do the work. And Fnatic will be dropped down in the first semi-final to the lower bracket.
This is the interesting thing about this tournament, because TSM can beat Fnatic. Fnatic, NIP, close. Envy beats NIP. Fnatic beat Envy. Anyone can win this tournament. These four teams are so well matched in terms of, again, how they line up, and we're already seeing that. Fnatic down and out of it, and TSM, who qualified through them online in the qualifier, actually against Fnatic to get here, do it on LAN.
And it's terrific, absolutely terrific from them to also go 2-0 up against Fnatic. This is what it's all about. Maybe we can. That's the other thing. These are the exact two maps they beat them on in one. Again, they played in the upper bracket and then again in the final for the qualifier. In the upper bracket, these were the exact two maps they 2-0'd them on the first time. Online, I know a lot different, but they just proved in a very similar fashion that's exactly what they are capable of doing. Well, before we go down the interview on the main stage, let's actually jump to a little bit of the highlights of our games.
No information that they weren't on truck side.
Now they got information. Cajun B's giving him a whole bunch of information led into the body of Fnatic.
The backside of library as well, so Fnatic doesn't have good line of sight, and that means they will get the initial trade. It's Xyp9x into JW, and Dupree's actually found Flusha, so Bronak's unable to find anyone. Finally does. He's been overlooked. He's in the backside, and they've got no answer for him. It's all left to Cajun B.
On top of the bomb side, the flash is JW giving him the crossfire, letting his teammate do some work, and they just mop him up. The angle play from Fnatic has been flawless. But he's going to see the players. No, he can't. They're sitting in there. Karrigan's going to take the first one, and Xyp9x reveals his position, taking out Olof, and then JW. That was a little bit of a while, but it still finds the head. But Cajun B, Tech 9 point blank range, support from JW, sitting on top of the balcony, brings down two, and this will even up the numbers here at least. Able to fall back far enough, and now he can battle up against Olof. Gets the upper hand there. Can he get more? The flashbangs coming in from his teammates, realizing getting flanked. Device takes two until Flusha will shut him down, but Karrigan's there to support out. And Cajun B still holding on top of the side, kills off the last player. Pronax will drop.
Because now we have Dupree and Xyp9x over at A. That's not normally where they are, and oh my goodness.
He's waiting for more. They have a look. He's still going to take two, looking for the third, takes him down as well. Karrigan.